Chief.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Charlie Dean, the police chief. As background, you will remember that last July, the board passed a resolution that directed the police department to do two things. One was to develop a policy that was more aggressive in the area of our involvement with immigration enforcement. This policy would affect all of our officers and would basically say that if anytime we detain someone for a violation of state or local law and there's probable cause to believe that individual is here without legal presence, we'd have to do more.
You all did receive a copy that our jail board chairman had sent to the Immigration ICE division, and that's the problems we've been having getting ICE inmates out of the facilities who are completely done with their time in Prince William County or Manassas. Our MOA that we agree with ICE last year was that they would pick up these inmates within a 72-hour time frame and we were done with them. That has not happened. I've been told by ICE that we overwork them. They don't have the bed space, nor do they have the budget to keep up with the amount of detainers we're putting on the individuals. You know, we were in the middle of winter time when our counts went through the roof. We're getting ready to approach the spring. We got Nissan concerts coming up. We got our busy season, so to speak, in the jail coming up in the spring and in the summer. So they have got to soon resolve this problem.
You're statutorily required by your charter to hold people who have been sentenced by our courts to some jail time and keep them there until their sentence is done, I think. I don't think you have the authority to say that robbery's no big deal anymore, you can go. What happens when the day comes? I mean, you see, we're not in the busy season yet. What happens when the day comes that the number of ICE detainees that weren't out within the 72 hours that we were promised exceeds our ability to manage the bed space? Is there a point at which just mathematically the numbers don't work anymore? What happens at that point?
I think the first step we could do is look at the original intention, and that's to concentrate detainers on the worst of the worst.
We had agreed in the beginning to 40 a month. 40 aliens we would take and look at a month. We far exceeded those numbers. And as a result, the capacity we can't handle, and I'm talking about my friends from the detention side, they just can't handle it. The numbers are overwhelming. But we're doing the best we can. When we talk about taking the alien file, which was listed in that letter, I believe, and there's a paragraph in there about the alien file being moved from the jail back to ICE and then back to the jail. These are checks and balances. This isn't going to stop. This is the way it goes. Because like you, we don't want to arrest the wrong person. We don't want to arrest a U.S. citizen. We don't want to arrest a lawful permanent resident of the United States. We don't want to arrest a visa holder who's in status. So we are going to have those checks and balances.
I remember that 40 a month number was shared with us early on, and that was like in June or something of last year.
July of 07.
July of 07. When you came back to us a few months later, we questioned. I remember Mrs. Cadigan had a number of pointed questions about that 40 a month number. Is that going to meet our capacity? And what she said at that time, sort of the updated number was, well, at least I remember was, well, 40 is sort of a minimum. We actually think it'll be a lot more than that, and that's not a hard and fast number. So I'll agree that you did say 40 at first, but when you came back the second time, you said it's actually probably going to be a lot more than 40.
I'm going to make no apologies.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We can either handle the capacity or we can't. I think we have gotten away from arresting and looking at the most violent offenders. Now, I have numbers here from the ADC as of February. The numbers are terrific for violent offenders. However, we're still getting away from what we set out to do. Okay. And I think we need to probably go back to that.
Would it be your opinion that we would be better spent with more resources going into the jail at this point and into some of the technology upgrades than rather the illegal immigration?
Well, I think it'd be inappropriate for me to go too far down that issue. I'm a slow learner, but I've heard two unanimous board resolutions saying the policy is the policy, and I'm saluting that policy. But I would share with you that I think it's vital that we have the jail system rock solid in terms of if we want to accomplish making sure that people who are arrested are screened and are dealt with appropriately, however ICE deals with them, And that's ICE's decision.
I know you don't really want to comment on policy, but we've seen shifts in the paradigm. We're not looking at the same situation we were looking at. ICE is not able to do exactly what they told us they were going to be able to do, as I understand it, and jail issues are out there. Can we get some sort of feeling as to how many of those things are different than they were 9 months ago? And maybe you're not ready for that today, but I would like to hear more of what is different than it was when this resolution was passed.